party. So we'll be evaluating the good, the bad, and the ugly side of the outcome of that mini poll and what exactly it means for Mount Kenya's political outlook. Is it a political statement or just a drop in the ocean? What of the united opposition and their plans to coalesce around one candidate, even as we edge closer to the 2027 general election, which is just a year and some change away? So much to talk about, so little time. Allow me to introduce the man of the hour, former Deputy President and DCP party leader, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua. Thank you so much for making time and welcoming us to your humble abode.
Thank you, Rogers, and most welcome. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with KTN. Undoubtedly, one of the most informative and objective stations that we have in this country. I remember when KTN came on the stage. Previously, we had KBC of information, and government then chaperoned the way people think. And then when KTN came on board, just before the advent of multipartyism, it brought freshness into the information space. And for many years, you guys have done well, and I'm always happy to have an interview. And I also want to thank you for bringing me out from the village. I've been in Wamunyoro for the last almost 1 month. And when this interview was agreed, I needed to come to the city to talk to the nation. Normally from Wamunyoro, I talk to the Mount Kenya people. It's good for me to talk to the people of Kenya from the capital city. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to come to the city, do a few financial transactions, go to the bank, see my dentist, pass through my doctor, and then tomorrow I go back to the village. Okay. So I'm just here for a day.
Asante for the sacrifice. And there's a lot to talk about, and we'll start where we should, the Ol Kalou, because the political symbolism of that Ol Kalou parliamentary by-election seems to have sent shockwaves across the country. Barely a year and some change to the jury is out there on what that victory by DCP means in terms of the bigger picture. Some downplay the outcome of things to come. So I'll start with my first question. Is this win in Ol Kalou a yardstick of the vote in Kenya region?
Yes and no. Ol Kalou has shocked William Ruto and his people because they live Ruto people thrive on lies and they believe that money is everything. Deception, that you can deceive people all the time. So he believed in the power of money, chiefs, elders, nyumba kumi, cabinet secretaries, police, goons, but he doesn't know the mountain. I knew of that outcome. I knew the win was certain. I was just waiting for the margin because I know the mountain. And what has happened this Ol Kalou by-election, I've seen one his people crying that we are celebrating too much. Yes, we are celebrating because of various issues that are important. One, I knew mountain since I left office, UDA was dead. William Ruto was finished in the mountain. And I knew that because I'm a man who listens to the ground. I talk to the people. The people on the mountain don't talk much. Even if they're angry, they just sing. You don't see them coming in the streets to riot. You know, when I was removed from office, William Ruto was telling a friend of mine that a town called Kiamariga, nobody complained. People just kept quiet because that's who they are. The mountain people are quiet people. So I knew since 2024, he was dead, and William Ruto his fate was sealed. Ol Kalou was just a confirmation of what I knew. The mountain was just confirming what they know and what they intend to do in the coming general election. Yeah? To us, as we have just confirmed what we have known, and it gives us impetus now to activate the final phase as we go towards the next general election.
Okay.
That our marriage with William Ruto is over. It has been over for the last 2 years. This is just a confirmation. They call it in marriage, when you get married, a couple, there's something they call consummation of marriage. Now this one, the final papers. The divorce has been there. It's been going on back and forth, courts, but the final done, and the marriage is irreversibly broken. The mountain has moved on,
okay, and
we expect William Ruto to move on, so that everybody just moves in his own direction, and then we'll face each other down there next year.
So, for the skeptics down, how does a parliamentary win to the presidential race in 2020? Ideally, the focus of the voters in would be on the quality of the 9 candidates, not a veto against a national leader.
The 2020 Constitution has a provision that for you to be elected president, you must attain 50+1. That particular provision portends is central in electing a president. Since the proclamation of the 2010 Constitution, whoever the mountain has been president. President Uhuru Kenyatta was supported by the mountain. He became president. The same happened in 2017. In 2022, President William Ruto was and he became president. From where I sit, politics is a game of numbers. The mountain has moved away from William Ruto. He whatsoever, because that vote is huge, and it's even more complicated because in 2022 he got 13% went to Raila Odinga. 1.6 million people did not vote. That 87%, that 13%, that 1% that did not vote are all together against him. Whoever they'll vote for, either from the mountain or from outside the mountain, will be the next president of the Republic of. These are statistics.
Okay.
It's not anything that is. You have a history that from 2013, 2017, 2022, William Ruto became president courtesy of the mountain vote that has now moved away from him, and all of how things will be. The 13% that the UDA candidate got is for the UDA candidate because he's a local, he's called Mushina. He has been working with the CDF office for 13 years. And he has relatives, he has friends, he has people he has seen here and there. If it was William Ruto as president, I want to tell you today, he would not have gotten 3%. And wanted to make a statement if they were on the queue. By 12 o'clock, 57%, 5,000 votes, 40,000 votes, and a suppression from midday all the way Had there been no, it is my estimation that we would have had 75% voter turnout. And that would have reduced what UDA got to a single digit. 6%. So that is where we are.
Okay.
And that is a statement from Ol Kalou. And normally the mountain is homogeneous. Happen in Kiamba. What happens in Kiamba is what will happen in Madeira. What happens is what will happen in Igembe Central. Remember, UDA came in through two. One in a place called Rulie, that is Ol Kalou, and Kiamba.
A year before the election.
Mountain, the way, you know, we have history. Our region has a way it does its politics. It has, one, the mountain does not divide its vote. We only divided last year, 2022, 87-30. Kenyatta was there, he was president, he had some followers. I was there, so 87-13. But previously, it's normally a homogeneous vote. The decisions in the mountain are made through by-elections. TNA, the party of Uhuru Kenyatta, came to the stage through, and once it won that by-election, UDA came through Rulie and Kiamba. And if you look at the Kiamba win, it was close. UDA defeated Jubilee by only 500 votes. I was in charge of that campaign. And by the way, Rogers, I'm an expert in by-elections. I've never lost a by-election. I'm a campaigner.
You've lost by extension.
No. Let me explain.
But there are those who view the now results as a minor setback before a major comeback. That Ol Kalou by-election would be the contest where he would politically deal with you, that you will meet on the ground and respect will reign. Equally, we'll listen to what President William Ruto had to say just last week after the Ol Kalou results, while he was meeting a section of leaders from Bungoma County at State House, Nairobi. Alisema, mafundi wa siasa hawajafika bado. Let's listen from the horse's mouth.
By-election inakuja Ol Kalou, Nyandarua. I am telling you, I will. Mimi nangojea tukutane na mwanaume na hiyo kifua yake anajipiga, tutamnyorosha, atamnyorosha mbaya sana, baya. Hapo ndio tuna heshima, hapo ndio heshima itapatikana.
Mnasema tuendelee ama tuendelee? Nyinyi mko tayari? Na msikuwe na wasiwasi. Relax. Hii siasa, sisi ndio mafundi wa hii kitu. Hii siasa tunajua kuitengeneza siasa vizuri. Hapa mbele sasa kiwanja itakuwa wazi. Tutakutana kwa kiwanja. Yes. Ama namna gani? Yes, tutakutana kwa kiwanja hapa.
All right, Rigathi Gachagua, a lot has been said. I'll give you a right of reply.
Well, when Professor Kindiki said those words, my answer was very quick. I told him the Honorable Kiarao had not been buried. I told him because of staying with William Ruto, he seems to have forgotten our traditions and our culture. You don't discuss inheriting a man who has not been buried. And I knew he had already started on a bad footing. I also sent him a text and told him, if he gets time, to read a book by Wallace Soyinka that says a tiger does not proclaim its tigerhood, it pounces. He said, atatunyorosha, tutaheshimiana is true. Tumeheshimiana. I mean, it's there. He never even went there to Ol Kalou. And I didn't go either. I left it to my young boys there to deal with that by-election. He was full of bravado. He was breathing fire, saying, tutanyorosha huyo mwanaume ataniona, ikimalizika tutaheshimiana. I said, yes. But I told him, a tiger does not proclaim its tigerhood, it pounces. Of course, he's very embarrassed because he talks with a lot of bravado, but it's okay. I've heard the President William Ruto says, yeye ni fundi ya siasa. Sisi ni engineer, and we shall allocate him work as a fundi. You know engineers design, yeah? Engineers design and supervise construction. Yeye ni mtu ya kufanya. William Ruto today, if you ask him, before we parted, I had a very long sitting with him for 4 hours outside State House. We sat, the two of us. And I was convinced that he was overrated. When I listened to him, I believed he was overrated. And I did give him political advice. Because he had started betraying the mountain, deceiving the mountain, and persecuting the mountain. And I did advise him as his deputy. I told him, Mr. President, I'm your advisor. I helped you to be president. We have come a long journey. I can see the route you are going, and the consequences will be very disastrous politically. I say the people of the mountain hate betrayal, and they hate deception. And if you betray the people of the mountain, they will abandon you and they'll fight you. Please don't. He argued with me. I told him, you yourself, William Ruto, you are a beneficiary of the mountain's distaste for betrayal. When the mountain perceived that President Uhuru Kenyatta had betrayed you, they punished Uhuru Kenyatta and made you president, just to show that they don't like betrayal. And you are not one of them. Please, don't betray the mountain. You will regret. He told me, I have 35 years experience. You are one-term MP. I had him repeat that the same day. You can teach me nothing about politics. I told him it is true. I don't know much as you do. But about matters the mountain, I know more than you do. I told him, you are a builder, and I see you building a lot. You like building. If you have a house you have built, along the way you get more money and you decide to modify it, you go ahead. If you find you made a few errors, it doesn't have enough light, you do. You can change the roof, you can change the windows, you can change the doors, you can change the tiles, you can change the ceiling, you can change the wardrobe. That you can do.
Okay.
But unless you are through with that house, you don't touch the foundation of your house. Because if you touch the foundation, you have lost it. I told him, the foundation of your government is a mountain. Don't touch the foundation of your government. If you do, you will lose the government, and you'll be the first president in the world to destabilize his own government. And I told him, if you touch the foundation of your government, you will not have peace until the general election. I went further to tell him, if you touch the foundation of your government, the mountain, you'll be a one-term president. What happened in Ol Kalou is exactly what I told him. President William Ruto took projects in Ol Kalou for 14.5 billion. 14.5 billion. He took a train, he took 2 boats, he took transformers, he graded roads, he took shoes, he took mattresses, he took gas cylinders. He did everything you can ever do for a society, until the neighboring constituencies started asking God whether he could take their members of parliament so that they can also get goodies. He spent 1.2 billion Kenya shillings in cash. But the people said no, because he betrayed the mountain, and the people of the mountain hate betrayal, and betrayal in the mountain has no remedy. Once you betray the people, it's over. Again, on top of betrayal, he started persecuting the mountain. He started sending goons and police to attack churches. The people of the mountain are Christians. And in fact, why he gained favor with them is because they are basically Christians. He was in church every Sunday. And he warmed himself in their hearts as a Christian. Church every Sunday with the Bible. He would sing our songs. He would talk Kikuyu. And people said, for the first time, the Church of Christ has a candidate. They elected him because of his connection with the church.
Okay.
The day he sent goons and police to attack PCA Mweki Church, the day he sent goons and police to attack PCA Kariobangi, the day he sent Nairobi Sierra Squad, headed by Madira Member of Parliament Eric Wamombi and his wife Betty Maina, to kill people inside church, that is the day, whatever little chance there was that he could recover after betraying the mountain, that was it. And then, of course, thereafter, with Moses Kuria and Kimani Ichung'wa, anytime there is a problem, he would send goons to destroy businesses belonging to the people of Mount Kenya. And they took it very badly, because the people of Mount Kenya are basically business people, and they are very protective of their wealth and their businesses. When William Ruto decided to persecute the mountain, and any time there was a crisis in the country, he would take advantage to punish the mountaineers and destroy their businesses. That was it. And again, finally, deceiving people. You know, these mountain people are business people. When he came with the bottom-up economic agenda, telling people, I can lift you from the bottom of the pyramid to up. I can help you when you had a kiosk to own a supermarket. The whole philosophy was very attractive to the mountain people, because basically that's who they are. They are people who like to rise from nothing to something.
Okay.
So when he came with that agenda, it was very attractive. Only for people to realize it was a con, it was deception. There was nothing like that. He said he would put people money in the pocket. The little they had, he took it away through taxation. So this Ol Kalou is just a culmination. They're actually sending a message to him. Let me tell you, this decision was made a long time ago, in 2024. But it's been getting worse, especially when he attacked the churches. It got very bad. When he attacked businesses, it got very bad. And of course, adding insult to injury, when he started abusing the community and saying it is tribal, despite the fact that they voted for him when he was not one of their own. They defied President Uhuru Kenyatta, their own son, and voted for him. And when he realized there is resistance for the mountain, he went on top of the car in Nyanza, elsewhere, saying these people are very tribal. That was an insult to a community that has a lot of pride, a community that believes in itself, that felt that they made him president, they assisted him. He not only betrayed them, deceived them, persecuted them, turned against them, but he's also abusing them as a community. So Ol Kalou, despite spending almost 16 billion in one single constituency, I can tell you in Ol Kalou, my brother Rogers, there were 7 cabinet secretaries, 16 principal secretaries, 42 chief executive officers of prostitutes, 91 members of parliament, 2,000 police officers, cash, 1.2 billion shillings in cash, projects worth more than 14.5 billion. But those people had a message for William Ruto. Yeah? We are through with you because you betrayed us, you deceived us, You have turned against us. You have persecuted us. You have attacked our churches. You have set goons against us. You have made life unbearable for us. On top of that, every weekend when you are out there, except when you are at the mountain, you are abusing a community that made you president.
Okay, but back to perhaps the symbolism of this win. The others who are watering it down, I've mentioned one of the instances that has been mentioned. You've only won one parliamentary seat out of the 10 that were contested in by-elections. And Mbeere North through the Democratic Party. Perhaps, how would you build momentum from this one win to replicate it across the 10 counties? And equally, when you hear people saying that it was a battle between the defenders, Jubilee Party, and the DCP, it had nothing to do with UDA. How do you respond to them?
Those are sour grapes. One, if it was a battle between Jubilee and DCP, what was the government doing in Ol Kalou with 16 billion shillings? What were they doing there? If what Aden Duale is saying, Aden Duale is just a noisemaker. It's a fellow who did not even give President William Ruto 7,000 votes. He is cabinet secretary, courtesy of the mountain people. He should not abuse the mountain people. When yesterday he was in Mandera, he said Kikuyus are hyenas, and we have asked people to go to NCIC and report him. Aden Duale is cabinet secretary, courtesy of the votes the mountain people gave to William Ruto. At every opportunity, he abuses the Kikuyu nation. Saying that it was a contest between Jubilee and DCP is thinking Kenyans are stupid. I mean, if UDA was not part of the process, why were they giving boats? Why were they bringing a train? Why were they giving a mattress to every household? Why were they giving gas cylinders? Why were they bribing people? Why did they bring goons to kill people? Why did they bring rogue police officers to kill people? Duale should respect the people of Kenya. Number two, my friend, it is not one win we are celebrating. You are not getting it. It is a significance. One, there are 6 issues in this election. Why we are celebrating and why we must continue celebrating. One, the people of Ol Kalou, on behalf of the people of Kenya, have proven to the country that William Ruto's dirty money means nothing. That you can come with billions and bribe people to be elected. That is not possible. People of Kenya know now that the billions William Ruto has stolen cannot bribe the people of Kenya to vote for him. That's why we are celebrating, because money is bad. And people are fearful that this man has stolen too much. He can use it to bribe pure people to give him back the presidency. The fact that the people of Ol Kalou have been bribed with 1.2 billion shillings and they have refused to vote for his candidate is a confirmation that his dirty money means nothing in this country. Number two, why we are celebrating is that William Ruto can no longer deceive the people of Kenya. He has been unmasked. He came with the Bible and deceived Christians, pretending to be holy, pretending he is very prayerful, pretending he is saved. Nobody saw through him. He came with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
Okay.
It was a lie.
You
now,
mentioned that, yes.
This deception, the deception in Ol Kalou was bring a trade, bring boats, bring transformers, bring roads, and cheat the people that you are working for them. The people asked, why are you not doing it in the neighboring Kipipiri constituency? Why are you not doing it in Kinangop? Why are you not doing it in Oljororok? The people saw through deception.
Okay.
So one of the greatest issue we are celebrating is that the people of Kenya now have the capacity to see through William Ruto and how deceptive he is. So that we are celebrating.
Allow me to cut you short, because at the end of the day, I have to bring in what happened in Mbeere North.
No, allow me, because you have asked the significance why we are celebrating.
Yes.
Just allow me to give you why.
Okay.
And it's not just a win, it's a win for the country. Number 3, people have been fearing that William Ruto can steal an election. And Kenyans have been asking us, you people, Wantam people, will vote for you. What will you do to stop William Ruto from stealing the election? Kenyans have been very scared. In Ol Kalou, the people of Ol Kalou have shown that you cannot steal an election. The people who are there defended the election to the end. They tried to bring in stuff, the ballot papers through police. They were stopped by the people. They tried to bring people pretending to be illiterate so that they can mark for them. The people said no. So it's a great victory that Kenyans will go and vote and protect the vote. That is a great victory. That is one of the things that we are really celebrating, you know?
Yeah.
And it's important. Number 3, we are celebrating that Kenyans cannot be intimidated by goons and police. There were 2,000 police officers, 4 platoons of the General Service Unit, 4 platoons of the Anti-Stock Theft Unit, 4 water cannons, hooded police goons with the AK-47 assault rifle and M16 automatic rifle, intimidating the people of Ol Kalou to stop voting, and the people said no. They stayed in the polling station. They were searching police vehicles. They stopped the police from entering polling stations to steal the election, to interfere with the counting. They barricaded polling stations with rocks and logs and actually stopped the police and government from stealing an election. That is why we are in a celebratory mood, and this celebration must go on because Kenyans were fearful. Today, Kenyans are calling me from all over. Can we come to Ol Kalou and benchmark on how to protect the vote? Voting is not enough. That's what Kenyans are saying. We have known from Ol Kalou that voting is not enough. And then now you can ask, I'll tell you now about Bere. You can ask me about Bere now. I have the answer for you after what I've explained to you. So we are not, William Ruto should know, we are not celebrating one win. We are celebrating the realization that you cannot steal an election in this country. We are celebrating the realization that police cannot intimidate voters. We are celebrating a realization that Ruto's dirty money means nothing in this country. We are celebrating the realization that he cannot deceive people.
Hasn't verified those.
Suppress the right to picket. In fact, we don't have a problem. You know, I heard the president saying, oh, the problem, people arrested, they are released by the courts. The people who attacked Wetima have not been arrested and taken to court. So, Mr. President, what are you complaining about? The people who attacked me in Lemuru, they have never been arrested. The people who attacked Sifuna in Kakamega, in Kisumu, they have not been arrested. I don't think the issue is the courts. The issue is the infiltration of the National Police Service by William Ruto and Kipchumba Murkomen to quell dissent and to suppress freedoms and to kill democracy. I think that is our challenge. Our challenge is that William Ruto has decided to use the criminal justice system to deal with his opponents, to make sure that they have no space, and to force what he wants to the people of Kenya using the National Police Service. But when I listened to the police this afternoon, I'm a very happy Kenyan. The police have told me they will not bugger the election, and they will not take illegal orders. They will do what is right. The beauty about a general election, Rogers, it's not like a by-election. You know, by-election, you can send 2,000 police officers to one station. You can send a wrong police unit. We have more than 50,000 polling stations in Kenya. Each polling center needs 2 policemen. They are not enough. You have to add the prisons. You have to add there will be no policemen to cause chaos in the general election. Even goons will be in their home voting, and defending whoever has paid them. Every goon will go to his place. There will be no, you know why Ol Kalou was stifled? It was the only election. All goons from the country were taken to Ol Kalou. All rogue police officers were in Ol Kalou. All members of Parliament were in Ol Kalou. But during the general election, Betty Minor, who has been causing chaos in the region, will be struggling to be re-elected in Murang'a. She will be fighting for her life. Eric Wamumbi will be in Madera. Kimani Ichung'wah will be in Kikuyu. Kila mtu atakuwa kwao. William Ruto will be struggling to see how he can be re-elected. He will not be available to assist anybody. All these ministers and PSs were in Ol Kalou. Kila mtu atakuwa kwao. What I'm happy about, these officers who are in uniform were very professional. The county commissioner, the regional commissioner, they were very professional. In fact, most of those officers were really irritated that policemen are attacking Kenyans. They are attacking voters. So my own comfort as a Kenyan, when I talk to the police, 95% of the National Police Service will observe the rule of law. 95% of the senior commanders will give the right instructions. 95% of the National Police Service, the rank and file, will disobey illegal orders. I can tell you. And since William Ruto will be going home, and you know these policemen also live in this country, you know it's not that they are strangers, they are also listening to the ground because they stay there in the police post, they stay there in the police station. They also know, the police are telling us, they also know there will be change. So I don't think on the last day of Ruto's presidency, any police officer who is aware of what the ground is saying will agree to suppress the will of the people, will agree to take illegal orders to try to preserve a president whose fate has been decided by the voters. To me, when I saw the clerks are good, when I saw the POs are good, when I saw the returning officer is good, when now I have reason to believe the policemen will keep law and order, I trust we'll have a good election, and any attempt by William Ruto to cause violence will be resisted by the people of Kenya. Any attempt by William Ruto and his people to try to steal the election will be resisted by the people of Kenya. I'm so persuaded.
Gachagua, now that you've told us that police is not beyond reproach, your critics say that perhaps it's now that the shoe is on the other foot that you're calling them out. They'll take you back to photos you used to post during the late Raila Odinga-led demonstrations right after the general election. And I'm pretty sure you remember the captions to ensure that peace and tranquility is of utmost importance even while these protests were happening. Lives were lost during that particular protest. Did you use the police service personally?
No. And when we never sent police goons to attack the people of Kenya. The police were there fighting with the demonstrators, but there were no policemen sent specifically to fight the people of Kenya, you know, as far as I know.
So
you know,
who were they fighting, if not the people? Because lives were lost, sir.
Well,
under police brutality.
In demonstrations, lives were lost, and it's very regrettable. And you are aware, probably you know, that one of the things that made me and William Ruto differ was the killing of the Gen Zs. If you remember, during the 25th protests when Gen Zs were killed, and William Ruto issued a press conference and called them criminals and treasoners. The following day I called a press conference. I said they are not criminals, they are our sons and daughters. My record is clean in matters human rights, in matters the rule of law. I have been, you know, I was a security officer myself. I'm a trained paramilitary officer. I have served in the security sector the better part of my younger life. And I really believe in the rule of law. That's why I'm very irritated and actually very, very offended that people trained to protect life and property can take away life.
Gachagua, we have 1 minute.
Yeah.
We have to talk about this issue of goonism, because at the end of the day, there are those rogue police officers, but we have disenfranchised youth who have been excluded from decision-making tables and hence are taken advantage by politicians to cause mayhem or to attack their competitors. At the end of the day, how do we deal with goonism with finality from where you sit?
Let me say that goonism in itself is not a very serious challenge. No goons can sustain attacks on people because people will say no. Why goons have become a problem in this country is because they are working hand in hand with the police. So they give them cover. So that when the goons are overpowered by Wananchi, the police open fire. You know? I went to Gatundu for a church, and Moses Kuria sent goons to attack me. They were dealt with by the people, but police came to rescue them. So it makes the goons to become very embodied. You know? If police decided there is no goonism, even if politicians hire goons, it will be very short-lived because it will not be allowed. I don't think Wananchi will allow goons to create mayhem because people will defend themselves. And goons who are not armed with the guns cannot be a threat to people for a longer time. So if the police decided, if the president decided today to abandon goonism, to remove Mukomen from office and get somebody sober, and if he really wants his tribesmen, he has many people who are good, people with a proven track record, people of good credibility, and people who have served this country with distinction. Among the Nandis, among the Psigis, among the Marakwets, among the Tugans. You know, if he wants another Marakwet like Mukomen, they are there, and we know them. Once if the president makes the decision, because the buck stops with him. Mukomen, all these things doing, he cannot do it without William Ruto. Because William Ruto can see there's a problem. When people are shooting on top of a Prado, like in a movie, it was like a movie. Even Ruto has seen those videos, you know, and there is no war, and the people are not armed. These are innocent voters. And then police with rifles on top of Prados, moving at a terrific speed, shooting everywhere. And William Ruto is trying to pretend that there is no problem.
Okay.
You know, he's pretending there is no problem, saying that the problem is courts. Oh, when people are arrested, and nobody has been arrested. All these people who caused this mayhem on Ol Kalou, they are still free. In Wetima, they are still free. So what we are saying is, the first step to deal with goonism is to rein in Kipchumba Murkomen and Raymond Omolo. The second step is William Ruto to allow the National Police Service to operate independently and return the command to the IG and ask him to follow the Constitution, to follow the police orders, and to follow the Penal Code, the Criminal Procedure Code, the Evidence Act, the three documents that guide the police operations. If William Ruto today decided, the buck stops with him, by the way. It's all about William Ruto. Even this Mukomen, it's not him. He is just an appendage of William Ruto. William Ruto is using him. The decision to end goonism, and it's not by issuing a statement in State House. That was the 5th statement in 1 year. He has said, oh, goons must be dealt with. He continue. Oh, goons must be. And everybody knows, in fact, the police are saying he is a problem because he is. The senior police officers are saying, can we get back the command of the National Police Service to the Inspector General?
And if that happens, we'll be able to fight. Yes. Which rarely happens.
Yeah, it will be done.
Okay.
Like Mukomen has been trying to say that we are the ones who have the goons. We would have been arrested a long time ago if these goons were from the opposition. We would be in prison.
So you don't have goons?
I cannot have, because if I had, they would be in prison. Why the goons are there is because of government. That is why nobody can touch them. That is why nobody can arrest them.
We have the bills to pay. Top of the hour news is coming up next. But this conversation is getting started, as they say. A lot more to talk about in terms of... And perhaps, what's the way forward for the united opposition? He's been in a 45-day, 36th day. Is there white smoke? But equally, what's their agenda? Remove Ruto, what next?